Welcome, everybody, to the Integrity IPG podcast. My name is Jordan Pahalik, and today I am joined with the founder, owner, and CFP, Nick Sanchez. How are you doing, Nick?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Yep. And then as well as the CFP and co-host, Dylan Webkenberg.
How's it going, everybody?
How are you guys doing today?
Good. Doing good.
Yeah. So we are super excited with this being the first episode of the podcast. So with further ado, we are going to go through, introduce ourselves, tell you guys a little bit about who we are, why we created this podcast, and a little bit about what motivates us. So Nick, if you want to start it off.
Yeah. Well, excited about having this podcast up and running. I've been talking about doing it for a while. And I think it's super important to have it just to be able to, just kind of show who we are, get to meet some of the members of the Integrity team, and then also put out some content about financial planning topics. A lot of it, financial industry in general can be somewhat complex, confusing. So my goal with our podcast is to try to take some topics and simplify them and just talk about them and try to make it very simple. And people sometimes have questions, but life gets busy, so they might not necessarily take the time to research these things. So my goal is to try to bring it to the masses, talk about stuff that people have questions about, and have some fun while we're doing it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Like I said, we've been kind of had this in the works for a while, so we're super excited. On a personal level, can you tell everybody a little bit about who you are, your journey to integrity? As the founder, just what was everything like before Integrity and now?
Yeah, so I went to Central Michigan University by Europe Chips and graduated in 2007. I was part of the financial planning program, personal financial planning program that they had there, which essentially equips you. You go through that program, you graduate, you get your bachelor's degree, but it equips you to do the very thing that we do today, which is help guide families, couples, individuals through their financial planning journey. And the cool thing about it is through taking the PFP program, it satisfied all the credentials needed to sit for the CFP exam. So if you're going to be a financial advisor and your goal is to be a CFP, certified financial planner at some point, you can get your bachelor's degree and part of the PFP program. At the same time, you're checking off the credentials needed to sit for that CFP exam. So that was a big time saver. So it's a cool program that CMU had at the time. And now I know a bunch of colleges have a similar program. I think Michigan State does as well, right?
Yeah, that was actually one that I participated in myself. I was maybe the second group of students to join it, but it was the financial planning and wealth management minor. So extremely focused on doing exactly what we do. And like Nick mentioned, it also satisfied the coursework for the CFP exam. So it's kind of like two birds with one stone. I'm at college, I'm getting my bachelor's degree in finance business, and then I'm also getting a minor in wealth management that also satisfies the coursework. So yeah, I got a lot done doing that.
So yeah, graduated in 2007, went to work, started working in the investment industry. Just the goal at that time, at 21-year-old right out of school, was just try to find clients, try to talk with anybody that I could, really try to find people to meet with, talk about IRAs, 401ks, and really just hungry to find clients, build my client base, and gain experience. And so anytime you're brand new at something, there's going to be a learning curve and just some struggle, but that struggle is also part of what makes you, that's how you get experience. That's how you get good at what you're doing. That's how you gain knowledge, wisdom. So, I was a financial advisor. I started in 2007, did that for all the way until 2022. So 15 years, growing a client base. And then in June of 2022, I left the firm I was at previously and started Integrity Investment Planning Group. So now we've been up and running for about 3.5 years, and it's been awesome ever since. We had a great team, the three of us, plus Jim Lininger and Cord Otterbein, who are also part of our team, and then Carly Ginzinger, who kind of keeps things running and keeps us all in line. So we got an awesome team, and outside of the office, I'm definitely busy at home with my family. I have 3 kids, Leo, Ivana, and Dean. They are 7, 5, and 1. And then my wife, Diana. So we have our hands full at home, taking the kiddos to all their activities and sports. And they definitely keep us busy. So if I'm not working, I am playing with the kids, go to their activities and trying to keep them from arguing too much and destroying the house, stuff like that. And then I like to be active. I like to play golf in the warmer months. I like to go to the gym, work out, try to stay in good shape and try to stay healthy. I remember recovering from Achilles injury that I had late last year, so I haven't really been able to run as much as I'd like to, but my goal is this year to get back to that and once my leg fully heals up. I've had a good journey of being a financial advisor, gaining experience, gaining clients, but then also transitioning into founding a firm and being the president of Integrity now. So, but yeah, it's been fun. I love what we do. I love working with people. I love helping people, and also taking, like I said earlier, a complex topic like the financial industry, and doing our best to simplify it for the clients that we work with. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And I think that's another reason kind of why we're doing the podcast is it's going to be a lot of things we talk about, and we have a lot of topics that we're excited to talk about that people just don't have the most knowledge on. So if we can spread that, financial literacy and allow them to have an outlet to learn some of that, it's good for us. It's what our goal. So Dylan, if you want to kind of give a brief overview of
Yeah, just to kind of keep the same timeline going that Nick was mentioning. So he started Integrity in 2022. I would have been a junior in college at MSU then, probably finishing up most of my classes for that minor I was just mentioning. Graduated in 2023, had my interview with Nick and his old boss, Ken, and then kind of just took it from there, and I got the job, and I've just been working here since June of 2023. I've been certified by Series 66 and Series 7. Life and health insurance agent in Michigan, and then I just recently passed my CFP exam back in November of 2025. So it's been about coming up on 3 years now working at Integrity, and they've gone by really quick. So you know what they say, time flies when you're having fun and learning too. As far as personal life for me goes, kind of the same thing as Nick. I'm a pretty active person. I like to play basketball, and I like to say I go golfing. I'm not very good at it yet though. I don't have a family of my own, so it just gives me more time to service all of my clients' needs, obviously. But yeah, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I had a huge passion for finance, so this kind of job is a perfect fit for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I have a pretty similar route to Dylan. Also went to Michigan State University, go Green.
Go White.
Yep. And then I interned here in college the summer of my junior year going into my senior year. Loved it, so got to know the team very well. And then graduated from Michigan State, worked at a life insurance company for about a year, and then me and Nick kind of reconnected, talked, and both thought it was mutually good to a good time to come back. And I've been on the team now for about 7 months, and obviously love it. Have a great team, and just excited to be here and learn with them. So that's pretty much it. Hobbies wise, love to, play sports, be active, got a big family, so spend as much time with family, friends as much as I can. And honestly, what kind of motivates me in this industry is, like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of people don't have the outlet to gain knowledge or know where to find a lot of stuff out about these type of topics that we're going to be talking about. So just glad to share this information with as many people as we can. So without further ado, we're going to give you kind of a sneak peek into some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. And the first topic we have for you today is what to do with a raise. So wherever job you're working, you get a raise. We're going to give you some of the mistakes people make, as well as just what you should be looking to do with that money.
Yeah, one of the things for sure is when you get a raise, the normal tendency is like, oh, I have more money in my paycheck. It's easy for that money, that increased take-home pay, to like just find its way into your lifestyle. More Amazon packages, more eating out, going out to eat more, and you won't even know where it went. It's easy for it to just kind of just get absorbed into lifestyle. So one of the biggest things you can do is right when you get that raise, instantly up your wealth building contributions, whatever those might be, 401k, IRA, even dollars that you're putting towards your savings account. If you do it right away, you won't even miss it because it's all new money anyways from the raise. But yeah, we see all the time, if you don't capture it initially and give that new money a new job assignment, it will just find its way on your doorstep in an Amazon package.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick's totally right there. It's something that I kind of mention to my friends often because they like to give me what I think is the typical excuse to not investing right now, and that is they say I don't have that much money, or I'll do it later on when I do have money. And I just genuinely think, no, you won't. You'll probably just continue to do what you're doing right now, just at maybe a higher level with that more money. So that just, it sort of emphasizes why you need to have a plan in place. Otherwise, you'll just, lifestyle creep is a real thing and it will happen. And you'll just, like I said, you'll do what you're doing right now at a higher level without a plan in place. Then there's no real direction there, I guess. So
Yeah. I think, like you said, the lifestyle creep, or some people might hear like lifestyle inflation, that stuff is so real, and it's so easy to kind of fall into those similar habits. Because it's a lot easier to, everyone tries to keep up with the Joneses, and you need the new nice big thing, whether it's a car or a house or a watch. But with that comes things that might, hurt your long-term growth when you're trying to build wealth. So 100% agree there.
I also think balance is important too, though, because you work hard, you get a promotion or a raise. It's nice to treat yourself, right? You don't want to be saving every single penny you make and limiting your lifestyle so much. So I think about balance is key. I always tell clients, if you save 20% of whatever your gross income is, you can kind of do whatever you want with the other 80%. Travel, buy a nice watch or nice shoes or whatever you want to do, as long as you commit to saving that 20%. So the goal is when you get a raise, that 20% that you're committing to saving, it should just increase as well, because now your income is a little bit higher. But that doesn't mean, people think like, oh, if I'm saving, that means I'm sacrificing like current. You don't necessarily have to. You can still travel and do the things you want to do, but just make sure you're treating your savings expenditure as almost like a bill.
Yeah.
Prioritize it, because everyone pays their cell phone bill every month. You pay your car payment, whatever. You don't really think about it because it's a bill. You have to. If you treat your saving and your wealth building the same way, treat it like it's a mandatory thing, it'll happen every month because you're committing to it, and then you'll find that you have plenty of money left after that to have fun still.
Yeah, that's kind of that's almost as easy and simple as it can be when I say like someone needs to have a plan. They literally just need to be saving 20% of their income, and then they read 80%. We don't really care about that portion. You can do and spend with it how you please, but if you save 20%, then that's at least the best starting point. You can go somewhere and do something with that. And to the point I was making earlier, if you get a raise and you're not already saving 20%, you'll just be spending all of that money plus your raise money, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. Allows you to spend without guilt. Like you guys have said, it's like, that way you can, like you said, go buy the watch or go buy whatever you want, and you don't feel bad about it. You're not double thinking it, or, checking your bank more than you should. It just, it gives you guilt-free pleasure of being able to, I can do this without having to worry about it.
Yep.
And it's also key to do it early on, because it's hard to develop a certain lifestyle where you're accustomed to spending X amount in your lifestyle. And, a lot of the things that we pay for now are all systematic, or like it's like an ongoing, reoccurring type payment or charge. So if you build a certain lifestyle, it's a lot harder to undo it and unwind it, because then that's cutting out certain things in your life. If you just start early on, saving a good amount of money, then you don't necessarily have to stop or cut out things that you're doing. It's just, you just kind of operate that way from the get-go, and it's just easier. It's hard to undo, from what I've seen, certain habits or certain purchases, because you kind of get used to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Not to like harp on the same point, which I feel like I'm doing at this point now, but Nick's totally right. It's saving and investing is a skill that people have to practice and get better at and learn and fail at and struggle with, and it's a skill. So if you can't just wake up one day and have a raise and then decide, okay, I'm going to start saving money now, because it doesn't work like that. And if you think that you'll be the exception to that rule, I would disagree. So
that's good. Saving, investing is a skill. That's a good way to phrase it.
Yeah.
So with that, I'd ask the question, when you get this new money coming in, right? You get a raise, you have a little excess money. What are some of the things you would look at first to point that money towards, or put that money towards, I should say?
Let the recent CFP take that one.
Two things initially come to mind. The first one is making sure that you have enough liquid savings on hand to handle any emergencies or opportunities. We like to treat it as both an emergency expense and an opportunity fund. So if the furnace breaks or you need a new fence or anything like that, that's part of it. And on the other hand, if you maybe need a down payment for a house or you have some interesting investment opportunity, it plays both roles, emergency and opportunity expense. So that'd be the first area I would look at. And then the second would be to tackle any big interest debt. So student loans, credit card debt, and, especially, but yeah, those are the two, kind of just making it very black and white. I would be tackling debt and looking at liquid savings. Not knowing anything else about the client, because that's obviously what a ton of our work involves. We have to know what their whole financial picture looks like to even direct them into the right area. But without knowing any of that, I would say make sure your liquid savings is sufficient, and then make sure your debt isn't too aggressive, too big.
Yeah, the cliche, like, legal type answer to your question, if what you get a raise, what should you do with it, is it depends, right? As everybody's situation is different. If somebody has zero savings, zero money in the bank, well, then of course the first thing they should do is to work on building up that emergency fund or that opportunity fund that Dylan talked about. If they already have a big savings cushion, well, now maybe that frees them up to do something a little bit more growth focused, a little bit more aggressive, like a ETF portfolio or 401k investment. So the "it depends" answer is really true, because if somebody gets a raise, it really depends on what they have going on in their financial world.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's like we say every day, every situation is different. So it's tough to say that. But yeah, I mean, again, a raise is an increase in income, but you also have to look at it as an opportunity to, build something long term. You're bringing in more money, and at that time, your fixed expenses are what they have been. So with that excess money, there's something you can do with that. And again, you can put that towards, short-term things in a watch, a house, a car, or you can do that and build long-term wealth. Obviously, the goal would be to be able to have a little bit of both, so you can enjoy, celebrate a little bit. If you're getting a raise, you're obviously excited. But your future is important too, and I think we all could agree on that. So
yeah.
But with that, I mean, that's what these episodes here are gonna pretty much look like. We're gonna run through some topics and just try to, give our stance on them and our point of view as financial advisors and 2 CFPs at your guys' helm. So that's pretty much it. You guys have anything else to add for this?
I was just going to say, Jordan's right. These aren't really meant to be informational. What is a stock? What is a bond? Or what is a mutual fund type of videos? They're supposed to be what happens in someone's real life as far as financials are concerned. And then it's just us discussing those things in the real life financial planning. So
Yeah, looking forward to putting out a lot more of these episodes and talking about topics and financial concepts that maybe people are familiar with but don't understand fully. And we can try to shed some light, provide some guidance and some insight. And there'll be a lot of fun doing it, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up everything. So we will see you guys next week.
Securities offered through the ON Equity Sales Company, member FINRA/SIPC. One Financial Way, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45242. 513-794-6794. Investment advisory services offered through ON Investment Management Company.